Hey guys, what's up? Spectre here, and at the recent Xbox showcase we got our biggest look at Avowed yet, with a peek at the world, combat, and even some dialogue and quest choices. This RPG from the makers of Fallout is shaping up to be one of my most anticipated games of the year. I'll boil it all down just for you, and share some of my thoughts as well. Let's jump in. Let's start off with the game's world, Eora, the world that birthed Pillars of Eternity. Except this time we're exploring the far north, known as the Living Lands, a fresh new locale plagued by a mysterious spiritual infection. Although the world seems sprawling, Avowed isn't aiming for a Skyrim-sized map. Instead, think tighter zones, like Obsidian's recent title, The Outer Worlds. In my opinion, this isn't a bad thing, as I would much rather a handcrafted, densely packed space than, say, empty, sprawling planets. The Living Lands features different biomes including forests, volcanoes, and wastelands. Obsidian's knack for creating rich, handcrafted environments is legendary, and I'm betting the Living Lands will be dripping with secrets, strange creatures, and weird in the best way possible. But Avowed isn't just about exploration. Gameplay took center stage with a peek at Shatterscar, a settlement where things have gotten a bit messy. You come across a group of dead soldiers, and one of their allies named Nauki, who you can pass the blame onto for the other's deaths or tell him it wasn't his fault. Dead soldiers, moral conundrums, and choices with consequences abound. Your decision there will ripple through the story, making every choice feel weighty and meaningful. And choices within the main quests and side quests will be reflected in the in-game world. Devs emphasized a focus on the morally gray rather than a right or wrong answer to each encounter. The locales that we've seen have made me really appreciate the overall art style and lighting, which has been somewhat contentious for fans who thought Obsidian might take a more photorealistic approach, given the original teaser trailer. It's worth noting though that early art is always subject to change, and we shouldn't punish games and developers for evolving during the development process. Really, the style isn't all that jarring considering what the Outer Worlds looks like. And then there's the combat. We're talking lightning-fast weapon switching, blending magic, guns, and melee. Players will need to think on their feet and swap out their loadout for different situations. Obsidian's aiming for tactical depth alongside the action, which I'm hoping feels like an intense game of rock, paper, scissors, forcing me to anticipate my enemy's actions, adapt to them, and then exploit an opening. There also seems to be the ability to dual-wield wands, which is just, wow. I'm sure spellcasters will be happy with that. But aside from all that, I'm still crossing my fingers for mod support, as the Outer Worlds left me hanging in that regard. I also like how clear conversation options are, so there isn't any confusion when reacting in-game. Quest choices that will actively change the world boosts replayability, something this game will need, especially since its scope is closer to that of the Outer Worlds. And speaking of the Outer Worlds, I'm really looking forward to the style, humor, and personality that we could see injected into Avowed, given what we saw in Obsidian's last RPG. So where and when can you play Avowed? The game releases on Xbox Series X and S and PC, including Game Pass, in the fall of this year. And that was the latest update on Avowed. How are you feeling about it? Did you want a massive sandbox akin to the Elder Scrolls, or do you prefer a smaller world with a more handcrafted feel? Let me know, and make sure to poke around the rest of the channel, as I've got lore dives, news updates, tech reviews, and so much more. It would really help the channel out, and I would be incredibly grateful. And as always, thanks for watching, guys.